Nashville. No, good evening, Music Maker Stage. Welcome. We are here tonight to listen to Erinn Peet Lukes, and we are happy that you made it, either if you're online or if you're live. Twice a month on Fridays we do this. It's live at the Music Maker Stage with Julie and Tim. I'm Julie Delgado. Tim Hibbs, give him a little hand. That's my co-host. And we've been working together to bring you a really special show of a live, really intimate experience with an on-stage interview, so we can get the nitty-gritty on the artist and all the happenings that they are doing, all the tours, all the music that's coming out. If you don't know where you are, you're at Music Maker Stage. Next door is Delgado Guitars during the day. It's a guitar workshop. My husband's a third-generation luthier, so come check it out in the day, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. But twice a month on Fridays, come here. We got complimentary beverage in the back on this cold winter night that we're having in March. And we're just happy that you're here. So I want to just do a little bit of housekeeping. So we're Music Maker Stage. I'm going to ask you to silence your phones in a minute, but before you do, you can go to our socials, and you can like us, and you can join us, and you can subscribe to us on our YouTube and whatnot. Instagram, all that stuff, all the socials. And you can check out future shows that we have. We're coming live on Facebook tonight and YouTube. All right, if you're a hashtagger, hashtag. If you're a hashtagger, I'm sure Erinn would love you to hashtag her with some cool photos. So we're really happy to be able to come together live and also streaming. And our goal, you can help us with that. Our goal is to become the premier listening room on the East Side. We need all the live music we can get these days. So, again, check out our calendar on our website, musicmakerstage.com. And we got cool shows coming up, like I said, twice a month. Cool shows tonight and cool shows in April. Also, merch. So we're here to support the artist. So we're going to highlight some of her music tonight and get to know her and what she's about. We ask that you support her by buying her music. Support Music Maker Stage. If you want to make a donation, God bless you. If you want a hoodie, take one home tonight. You need a souvenir, right? Okay. So yeah, phones, silence your phones, please. Okay. And you're in for a real treat because these are the sweet sounds of Erinn Peet Lukes. All right, Erinn, you take it away.
Thanks so much, Julie. Thanks for having me tonight. Thanks to all of you who braved the weather. And I'm going to kick off this dark and stormy evening with a dark murder ballad called John Lee. Had an eye for things long gone. Horse and carriage won't care if you're there or you carry on. Had an eye for old John Lee, but his hands handed me away so he could be free. He never came home that night, left me looking at the ashes cold by the fireside. Then the sun came up like it didn't care at all. Now John Lee's gonna see what it feels like to fall. Oh, John Lee, you're gonna find me reckless. Oh, dear thee, don't you climb my fences. I'm gonna get that gun. Get John Lee on the run. Thank you all so much. I'd like to make welcome this gal playing fiddle with me tonight. This is Gretchen Priest May. Give it up for Gretchen.
Thanks for coming out on this stormy, snaky night.
And Gretchen and I are both music educators at a music center west of town called Fiddle and Pick. So we teach by day, we play by night.
That's right.
And I'm here, I'm sort of on a run of shows celebrating my release of an EP that I recorded here in Nashville. It's my first Nashville album, which feels different from the other albums for some reason. Everything in Nashville has a lot of weight, so it was really fun to record this album. Kind of stressful to release it, but now that it's out, I'm just really excited to share the songs. And this is the first song on the record. I always feel like when I date people, I bring my hurt from my last relationship into the new relationship. And it comes out in funny conversations, right? Where you think someone's like hurting you, but really it's the past person. It gets all kind of tangled up. And sometimes you just have to understand that, you know, we've all been hurt, and sometimes we bring it around with us. And maybe it's not so much hurt as a sting, right? Maybe love doesn't break you completely, but it does sting when it doesn't go right. So this song is about that, and it's called Stung. Because of the weather, I'll be tuning a little bit more than usual, but it'll be worth it. Gentlemen from the American South, those sentiments and weed got ya kicked out with whiskey over rocks and cash under table, just local fees for installing the cable. You said you moved to busking, NYC, you're not afraid to ramble, yeah, you're just like me, singing for the pennies on the subway, stoned. I smoked too, but never been disowned like you did. Come on, kid, lay it out. Oh, I did. Come on, kid, let's play it out. He was prone to drifting and to running around. I opened up my heart, but now I'm burning bound. Hotel rooms, I waited for a holler. Now I'm not gonna wait very much longer for you, kid. Now what did you figure out? Oh, I did. Come on, kid, quit holding out. I can tell that you've been Thank you all so much, and I hope everybody who's watching out there at home, hope you're having a nice time too. Maybe you've got a little beverage for yourself, and you're hanging out with your pets or something. That's what I would be doing if I was watching a live stream. This next song is a song about a bar here in Nashville called Dee's Country Cocktail Lounge up in Madison. Yeah, I love going there. I actually had my official album release show there. And one of my very first times at Dee's, I went with my friend. We were in weird headspaces, and we drank a little too much tequila. And this is the story of that night. It's called Country Music Breaks My Heart. Tequila used to be so fun. When I was younger, I was 21. I could really throw 'em back then. Someone take me to back when. Now when I have more than two, I'm on the floor and I'm calling you. Bartender gave me no shit, 'cause he could tell I was really going through it in honky-tonk angels. Circle me now and are here to help me out. I've been hurt, so have you. Here's a chord and put it in that juke. Watch me fall apart. Country music breaks my heart. Getting married's like getting the gold, and she proposed to you in Mexico. Never told you about her drinking back then. Now you wish you could go way back when she was drowning in your love. Started reaching for the harder stuff, couldn't bring her any farther. Chose the whiskey over holy water and honky-tonk angels. Circle her now and are here to help you out. I've been hurt, so have you. Here's a chord and put it in that juke. Boxing night, we'll try not to cry when it plays. Don't close your eyes, don't look away. It's the right time and place to just fall apart. Country music breaks my heart. But if you can count to 3, I think you're qualified to dance with me. In the light of the neon, I see something that we can both agree on. I've been hurt, so have you. Here's a card and put it in that juke. Box tonight, we'll try not to cry. I've been hurt, so have you. Here's a card and put it in that juke. Watch me fall apart. Country music breaks my heart. Country music breaks my heart. Country music breaks my heart. Thank you all so much. Right before I moved to Nashville, I lived in Colorado. I know that I should probably save some of this for the interview, but I had this band name called Thunder and Rain, and we're going to do a song from a Thunder and Rain album, the last Thunder and Rain album that we put out right before the pandemic. Perfect timing. And since we never really got to play that record, I like to play some of the songs from that record in my set. And this is one of those. It's called Walk Right Through the Door of My Heart. One, two, Go ahead and open up a beer. Make yourself at home with everything I own. Help yourself to anything here. I've been ripped up in shame, and I've lost this age-old game. I cannot fight it, I'm feeling older. I had dreams, but they failed. I had ships, but they sailed. Now everything must go. I've been ripped up in shame, and I lost this age-old game. I cannot fight it, I'm feeling old. I had dreams, but they failed. I had ships, but they sailed. Now everything must go. Take the narrow pathway to my bed. I can't go back, you got inside my head. I had a man, but he's gone. I gave my life for a song. Take the narrow pathway to my bed. Walk right through the door of my heart. Thank you all so much. It's great to see some familiar faces out there. Thanks everyone for coming. This one is from the little woos. Each woo is equal to 5 claps, so woo it up. This next song is from my older EP that I recorded in 2018, but I actually wrote this song back in 2011, so I wrote it a long time ago. My Nana passed away in 2020, and she's my grandma. I call her my Nana. And she was definitely the maternal glue of our family. And she had a lot of siblings and sort of a kind of a, you know, it was a regular like grandmother style upbringing where on the farm and in Nebraska, it was not always so easy for her. But she was such a kind, loving person, and she really believed in angels. And she had a lot of angels stuff everywhere. So when she passed away, I thought about her being an angel going back up to the by and by. And I wrote her a song.
And I would like to say that we were ready to camp at Winfield, and she got the call that she was in the finals with the Merle Fest songwriting competition with this song. And so she couldn't camp with us at Winfield, which was a bummer. But then they also said it won in 2 categories. It was in the finals for country and gospel. So she had to pick one. So, and she got 2nd place in that national competition. So it's a pretty big deal, yeah. So.
10 years later, this song really got what was coming for it. So sometimes you got to play the long game. All right, here it is. It's called Take Back Your Angels. To a family of 9 and a whiskey drinking father never knew how to treat you right. You tried to go out dancing with the boys you met uptown. He took one look at you and said, "There's no way you're running around." But to him you did not listen, for a stubborn girl you were. You sat out on your window like a little morning bird. Then you ran down to the corner and you ran right up the road. How I wish I could be like you. Wish the things you gave me showed. Take back your angels. Call them back. Call them home. There's a place in the sky where they belong. Bye bye and leave me here alone. Last night I went dancing, drunk on beer and rye. I watched the world spin around and around until the morning light. In my dizzy summer dreaming, I can feel you in my heart. The Lord brings us together and the world tears us apart. Take back your angels. Call them back. Call them home. There's a place in the sky where they belong. By and leave me here alone. There's a house full of sinners and a church harboring thieves by the old abandoned railroad, covered in fallen leaves, where every day I'm working just trying to find my place. When I make it up to heaven, it'll be in your embrace. Take back your angels. Call them back. Call them home. There's a place in the sky where you belong. By and leave me here alone. Leave me here All right, we're going to play one more, and then we're going to get Tim up here for an interview after this one. And this new EP I just put out is really my first real exploration to making like fun music, like dancey, poppy, more that side of music. And I wrote it mostly in the first few months of the pandemic when I was living by myself, taking care of these pugs and this cat, because this family decided to go to Mexico when the pandemic hit as opposed to not going to Mexico. And so they went to Mexico and they stayed there for a month, and I lived with their animals all by myself, which was really, actually I really enjoyed it. Maybe that means I'm an introvert, but But I was writing a lot of songs and listening to a lot of podcasts and thinking about a lot of stuff I never thought about before. And one of the things I thought about was preppers, because I listened to a podcast about people who prepped for the apocalypse. So this is a little bit of a different subject matter than the last song. But I made up a character in my head, this guy. I imagined what it might feel like to be this prepper man who's got it all figured out and he's ready for whatever's coming. So that's what this song's about.
It's kind of ska.
It's kind of ska,
See
kind of
that
punk.
Snoopy dance.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
One finger up and hopping.
Yeah, this is really my love letter to some of the music I was raised with. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sublime, Blink-182, all that stuff. So here it is. It doesn't sound exactly like that maybe to you, but in my head, that's what I was thinking about when I wrote this song called Piece of Land. Calling old-fashioned for counting his rations, but don't need permission to fall asleep beside his ammunition. The gun is cocked and ready, kitchen stocked with canned spaghetti, tiding him over, killing time in the New World Order. Look, Ma, the sky is falling. I'm prepared and I've got plans. I can hear the trumpets calling like a clear command. Got me a gun and a piece of land. The news is unfolding, the rebels withholding, the city fraught with fission, dividing on its own volition. It's spread through the nation with the president on vacation. No man is an island until the last nail will soon be driving. Look, Ma, the sky is falling. I'm prepared and I've got plans. I can hear the trumpets calling, got a steady hand. Look, Ma, no time for stalling. I'm prepared and I've got plans. I can hear the trumpets calling, got a clear command. Got me a gun and a piece of land. Got me a gun and a piece of land. One last look around, let's take it underground. Well, we'll be there to win when the dust settles in. Look, Ma, the sky is falling. I'm prepared and I've got plans. I can hear the trumpets calling, got a steady hand. Got me a gun and a piece of land. Got me a gun and a piece of land. I got me a gun and a piece of land. Got me a gun and a piece of land.
All right.
Oh, that was fantastic. Erinn Peet Lukes and Gretchen, thank you so much. My name is Tim Hibbs. I am so glad to be back at Music Maker's Stage. I had to miss the last couple of shows. And we're going to just take a few minutes and get to know Erinn a little better. There's a stool for you.
You want to go this way?
Adjust your mic there.
All right, here I am.
All right. So, as I understand, the story begins in Redondo Beach.
Yes.
So, California girl.
Uh-huh.
What was your intro to music? What made you want to play?
Well, I was actually just talking about this with somebody yesterday. My parents weren't musicians, but they loved music, and we listened to the radio a lot, and we listened to this one station, 97.3, which at the time was like an alt-rock sort of like pop station, and then my mom listened to K-Earth 101, which is a Motown station. And so I just remember always loving music and memorizing songs, even from a young age. And they were usually, those 90s hits, Matchbox 20, Suzanne Vega, and then also like Elton John and Joni Mitchell. My parents liked that stuff as well. Queen. So we listened to a lot of music growing up, but that was about it.
Okay, so a whole lot of pop and rock. When do you start playing guitar? Is that your first instrument? Is that how you started?
I started playing flute as like a small child, and then when I was in middle school, I started playing guitar because my sister wanted to, and but she didn't like want to do it after a little bit, and so I just kind of picked up where she left off.
So you got the guitar then?
Well, we both got guitars, actually.
Okay.
We both got these $100 Costco guitars.
Nice.
Yeah.
From small things.
Yep.
So you're listening, you're learning songs from the radio. When do you start playing live? Your public performances.
In high school, I remember starting to do my first open mics just in town. And then when I went to college in Seattle at the University of Washington. And I did a lot of open mics there. And I also busked at Pike Place Market.
Okay. Pike Place, yeah.
Yeah, so I really wore myself out and played all the time and all over Seattle. And there's a few people I know here in Nashville that I knew back then in Seattle, which is crazy.
Well, all musical roads kind of intersect with Nashville.
They really do, yeah.
But now let's move along. So you're doing your solo work. You're touring. You're playing different places. But then you form a band called Thunder and Rain in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that happen?
So it's kind of crazy, but basically the long story short is when I was in Seattle and I started playing bluegrass, I met a mandolin player, and we were sort of a duo all summer. And then I moved to New York City after I graduated and was kind of trying my luck there, which my luck was bad there. It was really hard to make it work. And I was mostly just running around babysitting and hostessing and working at a cupcake shop and busking in the subways. And so my friend came and visited me from that Seattle summer in New York, and he was like, hey, I live in Denver, and that's a way better place to make music. What if we started a band in Denver instead? And so I considered it for a few months, and then I visited, and then I moved a month later.
Well, there you go. Now, bluegrass would seem a very left turn from somebody who grew up on Blink 182 and Matchbox 20. How did you get to bluegrass?
I started becoming curious about bluegrass in Seattle, but I just through friends of friends introducing me to Gillian Welsh and Emmylou Harris and artists like that. Avett Brothers even. I mean, people joke they're not bluegrass, but they really kind of got me down the rabbit hole a little bit. But then in New York, I started going to bluegrass jams. And then when I moved to Denver, I was hanging out with a pack of dudes at a brewery every day, and we were just picking bluegrass all day. And that's where I learned all the fiddle tunes, the structure. So really, it was the Colorado bluegrass scene that got me into it.
Okay. Pack of dudes. I like that. It's funny because bluegrass has had such a renaissance and transition over the last 20 years. I remember back in the time, when Blink and Matchbox and all those bands were hot, you couldn't give away bluegrass records. I ran a record store, and that was always the section that felt like it had cobwebs on it. But now through the jam band scene and everything, it's really come up. So how did you enjoy playing in a bluegrass band, touring? I'm sure you did a lot of festivals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Because you mentioned Pack of Dudes. It's a very male format in a lot of ways.
Yeah, tune into the second set for my thoughts on that. But,
okay.
But yeah, I mean, we were, when I first got there, it was kind of like all these bands formed when I first moved there. It was sort of like this movement. Everyone was inspired by a Colorado band called Yonder Mountain String Band.
Oh, yeah.
Including my bandmate who I formed the band with. He was really inspired by Jeff Austin. And it was also new to me, so it was kind of like I was just doing what I thought maybe bluegrass was, and also writing my music, which was never very bluegrass to begin with. Mm-hmm. And so it was interesting because we were a bluegrass outfit. We had bluegrass instruments, but we weren't always super welcome at bluegrass festivals.
Okay.
We would get booked, but then when we would play, people would be sort of confused by us.
Yeah.
So the trad bluegrass crowd was a little confused, but then the regular festivals, we were too bluegrass. But in Colorado, we were a perfect fit because Colorado really loves that between bluegrass and other genres.
Mm-hmm.
So in Colorado, we played everything. So.
Well, excellent.
It was fun.
So you make that last album, pandemic comes around. and the band breaks up.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, how do you get to Nashville?
Yeah, Nashville was always kind of looming over my head. I even have a song, again, tune into the next set, where I sort of wrote about that I would never make the move because I liked being in Colorado and kind of having that scene. I felt like I knew it really well, and it just seemed like Nashville was too big, too unattainable, but it always was looming like a final boss in a video game. And so when Thunder and Rain sort of disintegrated, it wasn't really a breakup, more of a disintegration. I realized that I could let go of it, and actually I could let go of Colorado altogether, because if I was going to push myself, then Nashville was where I had to go. So it just became really apparent in 2020 that I was going to either stay in Colorado and do the same thing, or I was going to come to Nashville and see if I could go farther.
So how did you find Nashville when you first got here? I know you've mentioned Dee's Country Lounge, but right moving here, did you already knew some people? But did you integrate into the community quickly? It was hard, I guess, because everybody's at home. I mean, it was pandemic time.
Yeah, it was definitely a little strange, for sure. I got very lucky with meeting Gretchen through a really good friend of ours who lives in Colorado. She was like, I was telling her, I came and visited Nashville for 10 days before I lived here, and lived in an Airbnb with my dog and just tried it out. And she was like, well, go visit my friend Gretchen at this place called Fiddle and Pick. So I did, and that night Gretchen's like found out that I taught music, because I've been teaching music for years as like a supplement, or sometimes the whole salary, depending on what month it is. And Gretchen's like, oh, you want to teach here? And I was like, yes, I do. So I found this amazing community in Fiddle and Pick right away, which was really lucky. Nice. And then I had a few like connections here that were like acquaintances, and now they've become some of my best friends. And yeah, it's really the bluegrass scene in Colorado really helped me bridge, because there's a lot of similarities between the scene there, the scene here. You're so right, all roads lead to Nashville, but also Nashville people love Colorado, and it definitely helped me put those roots down. But through those people, I found all the places everybody hangs out: the Legion, Dee's, Roberts, whatever, what have you. We all kind of hang out at the same spots all the time, so it made it easy to meet people. I just started going out every single night, even early on in 2020, when it wasn't like super kosher to do that. I was kind of in survival mode and just needed to make some friends. So it was definitely weird. It was a very weird time to move to Nashville, but weirdly everybody was here. So if people wanted to hang out, you could easily hang out with people and make friends before everybody got busy again and went on the road. Like this year, everybody's busy again and on the road. So
no, that was a rarity when all or most musicians were home and not doing the constant touring thing. And
because of COVID, we didn't really go out as much, so I had a lot more like one-on-one hangs, hikes, and backyard, like we had a big brunch where I met a bunch of women in the scene. That was like it was like this time last year, a big outdoor brunch, and we all met each other, and because everybody was here, and it was actually pretty cool. Yeah. So if you could manage to find a way to hang out safely, you were in luck, but it was definitely weird.
Well, through all this, you have a new EP that you just released, I think March 4th, called EPL. And I was so glad that you mentioned Emmylou Harris earlier, because, when I was listening to this and listening to the performance, I kept thinking, this is reminding me of something. And really, I got the feel, finally, it came to me, of Emmy and Linda and Dolly's group Trio, which combined pop and bluegrass and country and a whole lot of influences. And I kind of hear that. I mean, not that it sounds just like it, but it's just that feel.
I'm going to take that as a giant compliment.
Well, I certainly mean that. But yeah, it is, it's not a bluegrass album, but I can certainly hear bluegrass influences. And of course, you opened with a murder ballad, which is always a good move in bluegrass circles.
Yeah, yeah, we love like murder for some reason in bluegrass. But I murdered the man in that song, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just always loved, the Louvin brothers would play Knoxville Girl and immediately follow.
You love that song? There, you got to go to therapy. No, just kidding.
No. Well, they'd follow it with a gospel song right away. So I don't know, kind of the
No, I'm told we actually had a whole bluegrass jam at Fiddle and Pick that was all murder songs on Valentine's Day. So we're right there with you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Erinn, for taking a few minutes to talk. I want to mention to everyone, don't forget the PayPal and Venmo links for Erinn. You can find those online. We want to make sure we're supporting live music because, the live scene is still coming back. We're, kind of in and out of of the pandemic, but I'm so glad you were here at Music Maker Stage tonight. Really enjoyed the first half, and I'm looking forward to the second half.
Me too, and I'd like to say thanks to Julie and Manuel for having me, and to you, Tim. Thunder and Rain did a little reunion stream here last year. We had so much fun, and I just came in, 2 months ago and talked to everybody about doing something else, and it came together, and I just want to thank you guys for having me back, because this really is a special little stage here in East Nashville. I can't wait to come to a show here when I'm sure my friends will play here. I got a feeling.
All right, well, thank you so much, Erinn. Let's get back to the music.
Yep, come on up here. Okay. All right, that was fun. You're a good interviewer.
Oh, I need the other.
I want to just brag a little bit on Gretchen Priest-May over here. Not only has she been a teacher and opened up this abandoned building and made it into this wonderful music center 15 years ago, but she's been here. She's been in Nashville for 25 years, and she's played the Opry, she's played the Ryman. She's gone on tour, a world tour with a Celtic rock band called Kaylee Rain. She's just kind of done it all. So to have her playing with me is really an honor, because I feel like it's just not very often you get to play with someone who has all those accolades and who's also your really good friend and your coworker. So thank you, Gretchen, for playing with me, and everybody welcome her back up to the stage.
Yeah. And you mentioned a friend introduced us, and it was Emily Wilson, and she plays with us sometimes. So,
shout out to Emily.
So
Love
I
you,
wanted to shout out to Emily. Thank you for all the connections and all the fun music.
All right, we're going to get right back at it. This song is off my new EP, which is called EPL, which is my initials, as well as what the thing is, which is an EP. So there's just a lot going on there in 3 letters. But this song is about how we come into each other's lives to change each other's perspectives, and it's called Catalyst. right, well, you asked me how I felt about male-dominated bluegrass. I would say that I've found a lot of power in myself in the past 4 years. I used to let the guys boss me around, and I really don't allow that anymore, and almost to a point where I get kind of spicy sometimes.
Jalapeno.
Just call me jalapeno. Jalapeno. So, anyway, oftentimes, when you're in the music scene, you date other musicians because that's who's around. And sometimes I felt like all these musician guys I would date would feel like competitive with me in some weird way I didn't ask for. I'm not a competitive person. I just like to do my thing and like to support people doing their thing. And it really annoyed me how competitive these guys would get and how much they wanted to like show off to me. And it's like, okay, I get it. Cool, you can play. And so one time I just got a little fed up and this song came out all at once. And it's called Dime a Dozen. You don't care about my music. You don't care about my heart. You don't want to see the truth in it when I tear you apart. You never had to prove it. Always had my full attention. You don't care about my music, and darling, I should mention you don't know my favorite artist or my favorite color. You just thought I'd make a good wife. Maybe I'll become your mother. Well, it seems that my dreams are more important than a lover who doesn't care about my music or my favorite color. So consider this a goodbye. I know you want to get away. So intimidated by a woman who can really play. Why did I watch you for hours, flexing on guitar, when you're just a dime a dozen and I'm becoming a star? Thank you so much. I feel like a lot of artists are coming out with music right now. It seems like everybody in the pandemic was writing up a storm. This is definitely a pandemic song. The title is Loneliness or Solitude. And I wrote this when my bands, we were going on a second UK tour. We had a really successful one in 2019, like the coolest tour I'd ever been on, like what I always thought touring might be. And it got canceled for 2020, and it was probably the most upset I was about any show cancellation because of the pandemic. And it just really upset me that I couldn't control it. And I realized I had to let go, and that's what this song is about. And it's kind of good for St. Patrick's Day. It's a little bit Celtic inspired. It's called, well, you already know, Loneliness or Solitude. till good fortune open the gates. Good fortune open the gates. Oh, I know you love me in your own sweet time. Oh, I know you love me in your own sweet time. Oh, I know you love me in your own sweet Thank y'all so much. Thanks to everyone watching at home. We got a few more for you. This is our one and only cover song of the evening. And I recorded this on my first EP. I've been singing it for a long time. It's a Bob Dylan song. And this really goes out to everybody who's suffering and in pain over the pond in the Ukraine. And I hope that we will know peace really soon. It's really horrible what's happening over there. Farewell, Angelina, bells of the crowd are being stolen by bandits. I must follow the sounds. The triangle tingles and the trumpets play slow. Farewell, Angelina, the sky is on fire, and now I must go. Jack and the ace have forsake the courtyard. 52 gypsies now file past the guard. In the space where the ace and the deuce once ran wild. Farewell, Angelina, the sky is on fire. I'll see you in a while. Keep calm, little elves on the rooftops they dance. Valentino type tangos while the makeup man chants. Shut the eyes of the dead not to embarrass anyone. Farewell, Angelina, the sky is embarrassed and I must be gone. right, well, you know a little bit about this song. This is a song I wrote when I didn't want to move to Nashville. I lived in Golden, Colorado. Has anyone ever been to Golden, Colorado? It's where the Coors Brewery is, kind of its claim to fame. And there's the second largest brewery is a tiny brewery called the GCB, the Golden City Brewery, and that's where I learned how to pick bluegrass with the pack of dudes. Just raised on IPA and Cherokee Shuffle. And I loved living in Golden. I still love Golden. I'm going back in June to tour for a whole month in Colorado. And I really felt famous in Golden. I would get recognized at the coffee shop, and I also did a lot of pet sitting and taught a lot of kids lessons and did some nannying. So I was in everybody's house, and I just felt like I really everyone got to know me there. And I wrote this song when people would always go, "You should move to Nashville. You've got that Nashville voice." I'm like, I don't want to move to Nashville. I like being small town famous. So I wrote a song about that, and it goes out to all the small town heroes out there. I don't want to be a Nashville waitress. I don't want to buy another used mattress. Don't want to play loose. Don't want to pay my dues. I don't need a bigger pond. I like this little one where I belong. I like being a small town hero. I like being a small town hero. This has been such a fun show. Thank you all so much for coming out on this cold, dreary evening, and thanks to everybody watching at home. And a big thanks to Julie and Manuel and Tim and the whole team here. It's a family affair. And this is just such a cool spot. So if you're listening at home, follow the Music Maker stage, because I was looking at the YouTube and there's a lot of really good shows that are archived on the YouTube. And you might want to check those out sometime. Put it on while you're eating dinner or something and check out some of these really amazing Nashville acts you guys have gotten up on this stage before. But as for us, this is our last song. And I really would like to give a thanks to Gretchen Priest-May for playing with me tonight. Give it up for Gretchen one last time.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure working with EPL.
And
she's a good road dog, too.
Yeah, you bring the snacks, so it keeps me tamed. This last song, it popped out when I was in the middle of one of those home workouts from YouTube I was doing in that pandemic house I was talking about. I was literally like mid-sit-up, and I just started singing the first line of this song. And I was inspired by this song because I was checking out Britney Spears' Instagram. She's one of my pop idols from my childhood. And I was like, something's up with this gal. What's going on her Instagram? Little did I know this whole Free Britney movement would unfold, and now she is free, and she's engaged, and she's telling everybody off, and I love it. And so I feel like this song really is more relevant now that she is free. It's really my song about how the music industry treats women and how I hope we treat them better, kind of like we use them and we discard them, kind of like the way society treats women sometimes. And this is my love letter to her, and I hope she's happy. And I hope you all are happy, and I hope you all enjoyed the show. So thank you so much once again for coming out, and I hope you enjoy this last song called Queen. They used to love you till you got older. Your stock is plummeting, they should have warned you. Your fate is feeling like a tiger cubs, they only want you when you're young. I used to watch you dance on MTV, filled my little head with wishes and dreams. Now I'm glad that I flew under the radar, cause they love you and leave you with some permanent scars, and that doesn't seem like fun. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I hope you're happy now. I hope you tuned them out. I hope you found a way to keep your sanity. I hope you feel the love. It's something they can't take pictures of, even though you faded from the magazines. In my mind, you're still a queen. 'Cause it's so fun when you're young and naive, till you win and sold your soul to society. Bright and sweet with a southern drawl, we built you up just to watch you fall in. Why you gotta be so scrutinized? Every inch of your body under judging eyes. Is this the fate of every leading lady, the party girl and the Virgin Mary? That just don't seem right. I hope a better fate awaits the next in line. And I hope you're happy now. I hope you tune them out. I hope you found a way to keep your sanity. I hope you feel love. It's something they can't take pictures of. I know you're faded from the magazines. In my mind, you're still a queen. When you were a little girl, never planned that you'd be damned in a man's world. I hope it's easy shedding the pain of it. A teen idol turned tabloid favorite gone mad. I hope you never look back. And I hope you're happy now. I hope you tune them out. I hope you found a way to keep your sanity. I hope you feel love. It's something they can't take pictures of, even though you faded from the magazines. In my mind, you're still a queen. Thank y'all so much.
Erinn Peet Lukes. Give her a hand. Give her love. Show the love. Woo! Yay. Photo, hashtag. Well, we want to thank you for playing and singing your heart out. It's here for the girls. Thank you for coming and being with us physically tonight. Thank you for watching at home. And got a shout out. We got a shout out to Bose. We love Bose. And I think they love us. And LR Bags. LR Bags is a sponsor too for us. And let's hear it for Tim on the interview. Awesome job.
Yeah, very nice.
And it truly is a family affair, everybody. I got a shout out to the girls. These girls and these girls behind the scenes. That's my daughter Ava and Lila, and they do it all. They do the stuff that I can't do.
Love to see girls in audio visual.
Yes, amen.
I'd love to see it.
Yes, amen. Well, don't forget, sign up for our newsletter. We send an e-blast. We have 2 shows a month. Go to our socials, like us, post. I'm sure she would love to be hashtagged. And, am I using that verb right? And we got hot tea for you on the way home. And pick up her EP on the way out. You need a souvenir. And we got great shows coming up in April. And what else am I forgetting? Oh, Jeremy Lister on March 25th. So come back for that. Same idea, living room. And we want to thank the East Nashvillian. They're our next door neighbors, and they lift us up, and we lift them up. So everybody here in East Nashville. Okay. Thank you. Safe drive home. Give Erinn another round of applause because she's sang her heart out. Thank you. Bye-bye. Where's the camera? Okay.
That was fun.